Yeah, so I think when we started out with World of Tanks, being like this very small developer that has done already 12 games, but none that were actually on worldwide as popular as World of Tanks has become. Museums, I was like, who are you? And it was tougher to get into the door. Now we have worked very hard on our relationship with museums, actually working together with them on projects. We have founded an education center here in Bovington in the UK. We've done some work in Sweden with Stefan. I know the name of the director of the museum, but I don't remember the name of the museum right now from the top of my head. But so we're working all over Europe and worldwide, really, with museums together, and we have been for a while. So we are known now in this let's call it scene, in the museum scene. And we have a reputation there that we actually care about the accurate depiction of the armored vehicles. So they have an interest to work together with us because we also bring them audience that is interested in this kind of or this part of history. So I think it's a win-win working together, and a lot of projects have shown this in the past. So it has become easier. But then again, for warships, there's also a lot of new people that we need to talk to, exclusively maritime museums, exclusively maritime archives that we haven't worked with in the past. Now, we do have a different kind of record and history, so it's a little bit easier now than it has been in the past, but it's still a lot of work. Yeah. Well, I think you may have different challenges. I mean, obviously for car manufacturer, different kinds of things that they are interested in. But for instance, what you also have with military vehicles is confidentiality. You wouldn't believe how many things you're not allowed to see because they're still not declassified, even though we're 50 years after war, or maybe now longer actually. So. Sometimes it's tough or interesting, the level of confidentiality that you have to deal with. So the amount of people in wargaming that have top secret classification to be able to go into archives, and the way that it usually works is you go into an archive, you look at something, you need to have top secret clearance for it, then you say, okay, we want to do something with this material, and then you need to get it declassified in order to work with it. So it's these kinds of challenges you usually don't have as a game developer. It's something that we have in Wargaming have to have because of the type of games that we have been developing. So it's quite an interesting field to work in, actually. On my personal history, I've worked in the gaming industry before for 7 years. I was working at Blizzard Entertainment. It was crazy. So for me, it was the first time, like coming or working in the gaming industry for a long time, I never really had to deal with these kinds of challenges at all. And Richard Cutland, our military specialist, who has been actually serving in the Royal tank. Well, he was a tank driver, so Royal Army. Don't quote me on that. Royal something. So he was driving British tanks, so he has a lot of military connections due to his career in the military service. And that helped us a lot in kind of entering and working together with military installations and museums. For me personally, that the first time that I actually visited a tank museum was when I started to work on tanks. And it's like, it just blows you away. These machines are huge in real life. I mean, here we are today seeing out here the HMS Cavalier, God, I cannot even pronounce that anymore. Cavalier. With the Polish ship, it's easy for me to say. I cannot pronounce it, but it should be. In any event, these are huge. Like you look at them in the game, it's like it's fun to play, and then you're standing on deck of one, and it's like amazing. And when we're shooting this gun today, it's just blows your mind. So it really opened my eyes to this part of history that I never before actually spent a lot of time on. And I just became completely interested and engaged with the content of the games through playing the games. And I think there's two different ways that you can come at it. You can be already interested and find the game that is actually speaking to you, or you play the game, like the game, and then you become interested in the historical part of it. And for me, it was that way. For others, it's the other way around, and we both meet in the middle. But it's just a great community to be in. It's quite interesting. we already produce a number of, or have already produced a number of videos on ships. We're going to expand as the demand increases. So we have actually done a couple of shots that have not yet been published, but that have already been produced and waiting to be published. So there's still some final touches to be done. So as we progress and introduce new ships, we're also going to introduce new videos to those ships. We have been to Asia and filming ships there. We have been in Poland. I don't know whether that's already released from the top of my head, to be honest. Maybe it will be soon. So a little potential nugget there, but yeah. So it's definitely it's just amazing. Like you can spend a week on a ship filming it because there's just so many things to see. It's you guys did the tour today. It's when you actually go on a ship, there's so many different things and knobs and wheels to turn. It's just amazing. Well, I think there's two sides to this. So the one side is the production value. Yes, you have to make sure that you actually produce high quality trailers for high quality games. That you have to do. But then you also need the passion to actually do it. So you need to have actually people who want to be working on a project like that. And then you get great and sometimes funny results. So I don't know whether you've seen the Japanese TV spot. If you haven't, check it out. That's really funny. So we generally do support, we do have a wiki already outside of the game. And we're going to continue to produce content for that. Whether we're going to put it inside the game, it's always a bit of a tricky choice because you have a lot of people who want to dive deep into this, but I don't think that necessarily inside the game client is the place to do that. I think if you want to actually get more information about the background, then we should be able to source that for you. But I don't think it mixes well in the game client. So it's probably something that we're going to be doing outside the game client, but we're definitely investing in that, working together with museums and everything. Yeah.